Greetings and welcome. My name is Guy Lemunyon. This is a video training on how to conduct a relapse assessment. This training follows the Gorski Synapse model. I have long experience in addiction treatment going back to 1975. I've worked in detoxes, supervised detoxes, rehabilitation programs, done program management in inpatient, outpatient, and community settings. And I've taken extensive trainings through Terry Gorski, beginning in the mid 1980s with his developmental model of recovery training. Part of my background is military and veteran related, and Terry used me from time to time as a consultant on veteran and treatment issues. And I made some requests of Terry. I asked Terry to develop an online option for the relapse prevention certification program. And I had a selfish reason for this. I'd taken most of Terry's trainings, and he would like to use me as a trainer, but wanted me to complete this program. And I said, well, when you put it online, Terry, I'll be glad to do it. Second, I've been an advocate for alternative recovery, and I'd asked Terry to begin more referrals to alternate programs and treatment planning, such as Rational Recovery, Smart Recovery, and other groups, Secular Organization for Sobriety, Celebrate Recovery. And the third thing that I'd ask him was a video on how to conduct a relapse assessment. It's not in any of his books that I have, and you had to take a training to get this, and Terry was doing less trainings toward the end of his life. So I decided I would create a video on how to conduct a relapse assessment, and I messaged with Terry about that, and he approved the curriculum that I'm going to present. And the last thing I think that Terry messaged me at all was the best way to assess what leads to relapse is to carefully explore past relapse episodes and the problems and coping styles that led up to them. So this is the model in the Synapse style. 1, start with a period of stable recovery. 2, recall the first drinking and drug use following this period. 3, recall your thoughts, feelings, actions, and behaviors. That's TFAUR in Gorski speak, leading up to this lapse or relapse. And the counselor then formulates the relapse dynamic and assists the patient to create a specific relapse prevention program. So this training is meant for addiction professionals. However, it could be adapted to use in a self-help format. 1, start with a period of stable recovery. So I'm going to do a case presentation here, and the last case that I was working with has a medical complication related to alcohol that's cardiac and pretty severe. And he said, I go to the hospital, I get detoxed, I get my cardiac problems straightened up. I last about 10 days, then I get bored and I start drinking again. Well, that does sound irrational. He said he'd been through several inpatient rehabilitations. So next, 2, recall the first drinking drug use following this period of stable recovery. So he said he does not keep alcohol in his living space. This is a good question to ask for people in rehabilitation and people in outpatient. Do you have alcohol in your living space, your home, apartment, wherever? Often then that turns up another drinker in the home who is adamantly refusing to give up their right to drink and creates another patient for you. In this case, he's single, lives alone, and it's not his habit to keep alcohol in his space. When he decides to relapse, it's an intentional act. He drives his truck to the store. Now, about his thoughts, feelings, actions, and behaviors leading up to this. I already mentioned boredom, which is his major issue he talked about. A second problem is he had a recent orthopedic problem. He likes to walk and hike, and this is his stress reliever, and he is not able to exercise his usual stress reliever. So these come up in the rehabilitation plan. And from the cognitive behavioral perspective, the underlying irrational idea is life must be free from boredom. And of course, it's not. 4, counselor then formulates the relapse dynamic, what is causing the relapse, and assists the client to create a specific relapse plan. So they will all be different. This is just the one I created for example here, and I'm using with this client. 1, post anti-boredom messages to self, especially in the vehicle. Well, you can see that. He uses the vehicle to drive to get alcohol. He lives in a space without alcohol, and this actually, you will find, is a variation of the way self help affirmations are used. You know, find good statements about yourself that you want to develop and leave them around your house. And for this case, particularly in the truck is his mechanism to relapse. 2, a recovery schedule. Since he's bored, let's create some daily activities for him to do and something for him to focus on when he becomes bored. Terry provides one in the relapse prevention workbooks. I have a sample here. I didn't want to use Terry's copyrighted materials. 3, mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness is shown to be helpful in preventing relapse, and the actual recordings used in the mindfulness-based relapse prevention research are available at this website, mindfulrp.com. 4, urge surfing training, and that's a development of Alan Marlatt, who is another researcher and trainer in relapse prevention. And actually, in number 3 above in the mindfulness meditations, one of those is actually urge surfing. 5, some daily exercise. You recall back to the presentation that he didn't have his usual stress reduction activity, so he had stress buildup and the need to self-medicate more. And for all patients, clients, I suggest daily recovery education, reading something, some recovery-oriented materials, maybe Terry's books, maybe books from AA, 12 Steps, Smart Recovery, Rational Recovery, the Celebrate Recovery, Secular Organization for Sobriety, and any of the Buddhist-based groups that are developing. So this is an example of a weekly schedule to fill out and put all these things from the care plan on. Begin with morning meditations, exercise, recovery reading, space those out throughout the day so that they'll have something to look forward to. I'm also providing some references. That number 1 is TAP 19, the Counselor's Manual for Relapse Prevention with Chemically Dependent Criminal Offenders. Now, don't be off put by the title. Only the last chapter deals with criminal offenders, and the book goes very well through relapse theory. And in the end, there are several tools to be used with clients. Terry's books are available on gorskybooks.com. Trainings in the Gorski method, including the relapse prevention certification, are available at synapse.com, and you can find many training videos using Gorski's methods on YouTube. Some are short of Terry himself, and some are other people explaining also the Gorski Synapse relapse prevention model. And the books may be ordered from Amazon and other online sellers to learn more about this method. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have questions, you can contact me. And please let me know if this has been helpful.